Hey friends, it's me Shrikant. Welcome to the channel Motivate Express. I hope you are all happy and fine. Today's topic is Ahilyabai Holkar. Ahilyabai Holkar is a feminist figure who devoted her life to defeating patriarchal aggression and establishing women's rights at a time when women were confined to the four walls of their houses. Ahilyabai was the hereditary noble queen of the Maratha Empire who created history by establishing an ideal leadership for her kingdom during her 3 decades region over Malwa. During her reign, the region flourished and reached new heights. Not only was Holkar a prudent ruler, but also a bastion of women's empowerment. She is fondly referred to as Rajmata Ahilyabai Holkar. Ahilyabai Holkar was born on May 31, 1725 in the village of Chondi near Zamkhed, Ahmednagar into an ordinary family of Indore. Despite the fact that women's education was a far-fetched idea in the village, Ahilabai's father, Monkoji Rao Shinde, homeschooled her to read and write. She had been a visionary since she was a child. Despite the fact that Ahilyabai was not born into a royal family, her ascension to the throne was nothing short of a miracle. It was on his way to Pune that Mallarra Holkar, a renewed lord in the Malwa kingdom, observed an 8-year-old Ahilyabai at a temple service feeding the hungry and needy. He decided to ask the young girl's hand in marriage for his son Khanderao Holkar after being deeply moved by her deed of charity and strength of character. At the tender age of 8, Ahilyabai married Khanderao Holkar in 1733. The young bride, happiness was short-lived as her husband was killed in the Battle of Kumbher in 1754, leaving her a widow at the age of 29. Her father-in-law became her strongest pillar of the support and forbade her from committing sati. The kingdom felt a strong vacuum after Mallar Rao also passed away, followed by her young son. Ahilyabai, however, stood undeterred. Through all her personal losses, she decided to take matters into her own hands for the benefit of the kingdom's administration and the lives of her people. She was enthroned and became the Queen of Indore on December 11, 1767. While some in the kingdom objected to her accession to the throne, her army of Holkar stuck by her and supported her authority. Within a year of taking power, Malwa was encircled by invaders from all over as they presumed the kingdom had fallen into lesser hands. However, the heroic Holkar queen, who was determined to safeguard her homeland, led her soldiers into battle and draw out the enemy forces that had come to loot Malwa. She was a fearless warrior who was skilled in archery, sword fighting, and horseback riding. She conquered her hearts of her people by slaying her adversaries and invaders on battlefronts with 4 bows and quivers of arrows attached to the corners of her favorite elephant howdahs. Ahilyabai is known for constructing multiple forts and roads in Malwa, as well as for supporting festivals and donating to numerous Hindu temples. Ahilyabai is famous for rebuilding Varanasi's Kashi Vishwanath temple. According to the Bharatiya Sanskrit Kosh, the Holkar queen renovated and beautified several locations like Gaya, Somnath, Ayodhya, Mathura, Haridwar, Kanchi, Avanti, Dwarka, Badrinarayana, Rameshwar, and Jagannath Puri. Her benevolence was reflected in the construction of hundreds of temples, ghats, wells, tanks, and rest houses that structured from the Himalayas in the north to Click Image Central in the south. Ahilyabai Holkar was a woman ahead of her time. She was an outspoken supporter of women's rights. She was a well-read and pioneered women's education at a period when it was forbidden due to invasions. In the 18th century, women in India were unable to learn as they had in the past. Ahilyabai Holkar became a role model for all women, inspiring them to reintroduce the concept of female education. Rajmata Ahilyabai was a people's ruler who was loving and sympathetic. She used to hold daily public meetings to address the grievances of her peoples. She declared that she was ready to aid anyone who needed help. She permitted the Bhil tribes, who had been tormented for years, to peacefully conduct farming. Historians record how she encouraged everyone in her realm and kingdom to be the best they could be. During her reign, merchants manufactured their most elegant garments and trade expanded at an unprecedented rate. The farmers were no longer victims of exploitations but self sufficient individuals. Maheshwar, her capital, was a tapestry of literacy, musical, artist, and industrial achievements. The artisans, sculptors, and artists were well compensated for their talented and held in a great regards by the queen. She welcomed intellectuals such as Marathi poet Moropant, Shair Anantapandi, and Sanskrit scholar Kushali Ram into her city. She went to a great textile industry in the city as well. She introduced the traditional of the Maheshwari saris. The flourishing handloom Maheshwari sari weaving industrial has ironically been revived with an inversion in which women have taken to the loom and men are involved in the craft and external responsibilities. She was also against the inhumane and discriminatory practice of sati pratha. She strove to stop sati, which was largely prevented in North India. Very few women of her time dared to defy this century-old tradition, but she never shied away from standing up for what was right. India's history is filled with wonderful instances of women who led the country via their courage, charisma, foresight, and most importantly, their strength of characters. But Ahilyabai Holkar Malwa's benevolent and brave queen will always stand out among others. Ahilyabai died on 13 August 1795 at the age of 70. A woman of modern times, Ahilyabai rule is remembered as a golden age in the history of Maratha Empire. Ahilyabai was succeeded by her commander-in-chief and new pharaoh, Tukoji Holkar, who soon abdicated the throne in favor of his son Kashi Holkar in 1797. Thanks for watching the video. For the more video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.